right, here we are on a very thankful Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with us on another edition of Good Morning. Good morning, Huntsville. I just wanted to say that differently this morning, Jason. You know, a little good morning.
I like it.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Pastor. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Jason's like, man, quit talking like me like that, man. It's good to see all of you. Thanks for hanging out. Here we are, and we're ready to rock and roll this morning. Got a great show lined up as we get get started this morning, and I always try to remember the number, and I always have to go back and look. Episode 636.
636.
And it's
moving right along.
It's really 0636 because I wanted to make sure we had enough digits in there when we flipped to 1,000. So 0636. We're gonna skip. We've skipped a few on not really skipped a few. The numbering is a little bit off because there's one or two shows that we gave the same number. So it's probably really 640, but officially 636 is what we have. Welcome in. Thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliot's.com for all of your jewelry needs. And, of course, we couldn't be here without Pastor Jason Bay, First Baptist Church, on a Thursday. Pastor, good to see you, man. A lot of great things. I know there's a lot going on, and we try to focus on the positive. We got to be aware of the adversity, but, we always focus on the positive. And, boy, one of the positives, I know we'll talk about it a little bit later, that Maroon is just a rolling, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting game. That sure was. We were over there, and we sat in the cheap seats, in the end zone at the top, and we were there, and at halftime I looked over at Kim, and she was beet red. We didn't have any there's no shade on where we were sitting. And so I was like, let's go down to the concourse and let's sit down there for a little while and get out of the sun. So thank goodness we did, because she would have been just completely sunburned. But so we went down there and sat there for a while, the third quarter. And then they started coming back. We're like, well, we better go back to our seats for the fourth quarter. But it was an exciting game.
What was the atmosphere like?
Oh, man, it was
incredible comeback.
It was really exciting. Place to be that day for sure. One of the greatest comebacks in the history of A&M sports, I guess, or football.
Yeah, I was going to say what I would think is probably one of the greatest comebacks of all time. I mean, my goodness, I didn't even watch it, but I saw the highlights, and it's one of those that you wish, like, man, why didn't I watch that?
Yeah, the first half, I mean, it was just a series of bad mistakes. When you looked at the teams, it felt like from the very beginning that A&M was the better team, but they just kept shooting themselves in the foot over and over, making critical mistakes, missing field goals, throwing interceptions, fumbling the ball. It was everything that could go wrong went wrong. And but hey, they came back. I'm glad they did too.
Well, we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. One thing I wanted to bring up, Chrissy Cogdell is going to be with us here in just a few moments from First Touch Family, giving some updates on some very important events and things that they're working on, and we appreciate Chrissy. Always tremendous joy when Chrissy's here, and we appreciate all that she does for our community and just the heart that she has for people and helping people, and so I'm looking forward to having her in a few moments. One thing I noticed coming in, Jason, man, we hit a record high, I think, yesterday. It was like 84. And here we are, what is it, November the 20th.
I know it.
And winter has not shown up yet, really.
I know. Not at all.
I mean, look, the 20, you're in shape. I mean, the only reason I'm dressed, I've got to be somewhere at 11 today, but I would be right there with you. I'm normally wearing shorts right now. Yeah,
I mean, it is crazy. I mean, this late in the year, we haven't even had a freeze yet, and it is no fall. I know winter will hit one day, but we won't experience any.
Well, I'm doing one last thing. We now want to welcome in everybody that's joining us on Spirit Radio as we are here on another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. And I wanted to highlight briefly, Jason, we're so blessed. This community has been so good to us, and the church has been so good, and man, we are moving along on that studio for the station. Of course, it's also going to be used for the church here. We'll have a nice kind of green room area. But Steve Getz was up here. He's doing tremendous work. I was talking with Steve last night and just so thankful for all of his insight and professionalism. And it's neat to see all these contractors come in. He's got a young man that works for him that said, I was talking to him, and we just started sharing our faith, after he was wrapping up one day. And he said he wants to come here to First and visit, and it's just tremendous because I feel like everyone who's getting involved, of course, when you start to see things happen, I always said that activity creates activity, and once you start seeing things, You know, there's people that are starting to see that, and they're starting to share in that vision. And, you know, Steve was even saying, Rob, whatever you need, you know, there's a couple little side things that I needed help with. And he's like, don't even worry about that. I'll just help y'all with it. You know, he just wants to help because he sees what the Lord is doing. Jason, I'm really excited. Equipment got ordered a couple of days ago. I got tracking numbers for half of it. So it's kind of neat the tower went up. It's really neat to start to see, you know, 2 years of prayer, and God is always faithful. And it's all coming together for what we hope January the 1st will flip that big red switch and turn it on. So
I love it. I think it is. It's something that's you've been praying about for a long, long time, and then when God put us together as a church and we collectively are praying about it. But I'm excited. I go by there every day and peek my head in to see what progress they've made, and your vision for that space was it was incredible, and I'm thankful that we're able to see all that progress. And I'll be so thankful when we get the opportunity to flip that switch. We just believe that it's going to be something that's great for the entire community. It's a radio station that can reach beyond the walls of the prison, that can reach people all throughout this community, and it's something that we've needed for a long time here as a Christian radio station here in Huntsville. And I'm glad that there's so much legwork that goes into this. If you don't just decide you're going to start a radio station and then tomorrow, you know, put the money in and get it. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of red tape, a lot of things you have to go through. And I'm so thankful that God gave you the wisdom to be able to get all that together.
Well, it takes multiple people, and it takes a community, not just multiple people. And as I've said numerous times, you know, an idea can start with a me, but for it to work out, you got to have a we.
Absolutely.
There's no way that you can do it on your own. And, you know, we're so blessed to have Tyler Fordyce over here. That young man is full of so much energy, and you know, he has brought just a new sense of energy too. Not that I'm not going to say that we didn't have it, but it's always good to have somebody that shares in that vision. And man, he has taken it and ran with it. And you know, we had an idea. We're going to announce a coloring contest here in the next couple of weeks, right after Thanksgiving, and then we'll do that up until a couple of weeks before Christmas. But we already had the hardware store, the Ace Hardware store, just down the street. That family is so generous, and Tyler picked up the phone and said, "Hey, we want to do this contest for some age groups of kids, and would y'all be willing to sponsor that?" And they said, "We'll buy the bikes."
Oh, wow.
So we're going to buy some bikes for the kids and do that. And, you know, it's just neat, though. It's great. But it's like I've always told our team, Jason, and this is what I love about you and our church, too, is, you know, we want to lead people to the Lord, and we want them to experience that joy that can only be found through Christ. And it's like Tyler and I are on the same page, and so is the whole team, saying we can do all this and we can be excited about it. But if we're not winning people for the Lord, then what's the point? You know, then we're just doing stuff to do stuff. And we don't want to do stuff. We want to do stuff to make an impact on people, not for us, but for Him.
Yeah, and I there's no doubt the number of people that are going to be impacted. You know, I always tell you this, that the Word tells us our call is to scatter seed, and wherever those seeds fall, we're never going to know until we get to eternity what impact that the little things that we've done throughout our life have impacted. And what a great, I was telling Dr. Jones, we were talking about the other day, this is like scattering seed, but scattering seed in the wind, because there's no telling where God is going to carry it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
And so, because the reach is so far, not just for the Huntsville area, but with the streaming aspects of it to reach even greater places and bring a community together. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful idea.
We've thought about, you know, kind of when we put all this together, what it would be, what it would represent. And of course, we know, you know, it's for the Lord, and that's what we're doing this for, and to bring people into that. But I think about the Great Commission, and that's something you just preached a sermon, and we'll talk a little bit more about, you know, on the tail end of the show, a few things about what's happening here. But you had preached a sermon about, you know, just missions, and that's whenever we had Pastor Carlo come in from the Philippines. What a great guy. That was fun. But you're exactly right, Jason, and the Bible says, as you know more than anyone, it says, go and make disciples of all nations. And so we are commanded to reach people. And with the internet and with all this technology, and with guys like Elon Musk who have this brain power that's through the roof and now has Starlink all over the globe, the internet is reaching everyone, and that was his vision. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, with the internet now able to reach, and it's not there yet, but it's getting there. Soon, that connectivity is going to be all over the globe. I mean, but what a better way to tie in to that call to make disciples of all nations than to utilize the power of the internet. You can use things for good or use things for evil. And so we're very focused, and we came up with a kind of a slogan that we have a local mission with a global vision. And it's just like people like Fiona Finner. I like that name. Fiona Finner, who listens in from Ireland, found our app from who knows where and joins and listens into the station.
That's wonderful.
So we're excited. And I did want to, a couple of last things on this is, it takes a community, as we've talked about, and great folks like the Ward family. They have been so gracious to help out with the studio, and then our friend Weldon Wallace over at TCS Flooring. He's been so gracious to help. And that tile that we got, I mean, that is just beautiful. I love how that turned out.
Yeah, it really does. The colors that you picked out and the flooring looks wonderful.
And then guys like Jeremy Wine, we kind of made Jeremy the superintendent of the project, and he's done an awesome. And he's out working hard for his family and driving truck. He was all the way up in Oregon, driving and picking up a truck and coming, but he was still on the phone calling people and directing traffic and calling me and like, hey man, I'm just letting you know this guy's coming on this day. Is there anything you need to talk to him? I was like, man, this is great,
Yeah, really.
So, well, hey, we're going to take a brief break, and Chrissy will join us and give us some updates on what's happening with First Touch Family, and we're so thrilled to have her. And so we'll take a break and stay tuned, because a little bit later we're going to have that news you can use.
Yes.
All important. You got any teasers for us on that today, Jason?
Well, I will say that I sent you an email. I don't know if you got it or not, because I was having trouble with my email server this morning. But we have analyzed the national anthem from different perspectives. We've heard, you and I, I'm sure you a lot more than I, have heard a lot of national anthems in our day. And today I want to share with you, and I don't know if you watch Monday Night Football or not, but perhaps the very best one that I've heard in a long time today. So tune in.
Tune in. It's going to be a patriotic Thursday here on Good Morning Huntsville. So we'll step aside. We'll take a break. Stay with us. Hey, do us a favor. Let us know that you're out there. We'd love to hear from you this morning. And most importantly, let us know what you're thankful for. We always like to see those comments and encourage each other. If you're on social media, do that, because it really does make a difference. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us as we continue promoting and celebrating the good. This is Good Morning Huntsville, as always, on a Thankful Thursday, and it's brought to you by First Baptist Church Huntsville. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back after this.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith, with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch, in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville, from homes and hospitals to prison walls. That's the heart of Spirit Radio. We're a truly local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're raising $25,000 to build our tower and get on the air. With your help, we'll broadcast encouragement, truth, and the love of Christ across our community and across the world through the Spirit Radio FM app. Visit spiritradio.fm and give today. Let's bring light to Huntsville and beyond together.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
This harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Jason Bay, the pastor at First Baptist Church, Huntsville, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit
'" All right, well, we're back at it as we continue on this morning. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Good Morning Huntsville. And check this out. Every once in a while, not every once in a while, we get to do it quite often, but we get to have really awesome guests on. And one of the most awesomest, I'm going to make up a word this morning, one of the most awesomest is joining us this morning. Chrissy Cogdell, First Touch family. Good to see you. Oh, you know what? I forgot to flip your microphone on. There you go. Good to see you this morning. You got it. Yep. You are flipped and ready to go.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. It's always such a pleasure.
You bet. Well, Chrissy is with First Touch family, and Chris, I'm just so thankful for your friendship. I don't even know how we met. It's been, I know exactly. Greg Smith brought you on the show one time, and that's how we met.
That is exactly right. Yes.
Boy, that was a long time ago.
It has been a long time ago, and very good. I'm really, really thankful for your friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm also thankful for how First Baptist and Pastor Bays and you know, in your pastoral care have just stepped up to help us support our families who have lost children, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like the first knock on the door, you guys opened it and said, yes, if that's what the Lord's calling you to, and I just appreciate y'all's hearts so much.
Well, you bet. And I know there's so many other wonderful community partners, many other churches here in the community. I know Northside was helping you guys out
Absolutely.
as you brought more supplies to the flood victims. You know, we were so blessed. You came. I felt like you were here for like a week, you know, hanging out. You were on the phone, and you asked me, this was back in July, you asked me, what can I do to help? And I'm not very good at delegating, but I've learned that if somebody asks, what can I do to help, then you delegate. And so it was uncomfortable for me at first, just because I'm not used to that. But Chrissy, you have opened up a whole new area of my life that needed to be open. And I said, well, we need help doing this, and this. And guess what? You did all of it. And so thank you for your help. You connected with so many different folks that needed help, and we were able to go to those communities and bless them with some supplies that they needed. And, you know, it's those memories of things that I'll never forget. And we've built life-lasting relationships with some of these people. And that was the whole intent. We didn't want to just go and say, hey, here's a 20, and then never get to know these people. You know, Ernesto, I communicate with him quite frequently now there in San Angelo, and that's what life is about, right? Community and building relationships.
It is. And, you know, we've had an opportunity since then. I think we've sent 33 blessing boxes
Wow.
to families that lost their children in the floods, and have really had the honor of stepping into some of those hard spaces and speaking with some of those families. And they're just what they're doing in their communities, in their tragedy, and the hope that the Lord is planting, full to watch. It's been beautiful to be a part of, as heartbreaking as it is. We're really thankful for that.
Well, Chrissy, give us maybe the cliff notes of First Touch Family, because there may be a new person watching. I know there's always new people watching, but somebody may wonder, well, what is First Touch Family? Well, I'd like for you to kind of lead into that, let folks know what you do and your ministry, and then we'll talk more about some upcoming events that folks can help out and be a part of.
That sounds great. So First Touch Family was founded in, I guess, officially in July of 2022. Tim Rushing will tell you that we were on their doorstep well before that when they lost their sweet son, Brennan. But we just felt like the Lord was calling us into ministry to families who had lost their children. And in my narrow-mindedness, initially, I thought that the ministry would be just for women and moms. I'm a mom. And so it became very clear to us that that type of grief is a full family. It affects the whole family, and the Lord has just really opened the doors for us to step in with siblings and families who are hurting. And, you know, I was sharing with you earlier, just feel like especially in early grief, we have an opportunity to really share the hope that we have in Christ in a place that we're so broken, and people are looking for hope in the midst of that brokenness. And at the same time, we've seen where, you know, the devil can come in and wipe out full families with the death of a child. So we just want to walk alongside those families and in the trenches and just be a support system and an encouragement. And we provide resources, and we've sent blessing boxes to 24 different states. Wow. It looks like we have served at this point well over 400 families, unfortunately. But there's a sacredness in being able to not step into that space with the brokenness and just share the hope that we have in Christ.
You know, we were talking a little bit earlier, Chrissy, and you and I, our paths are similar kind of in a way in the ministry journey, because, you know, you grew up around the football stadium, and I grew up, in the technology and then in the sports broadcasting world, and I'm sure you probably think like me, like this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have some sort of connection to this, and you never know what the Lord has in store. And this is why I always encourage people to stay in faith. And it's okay, like Jason always says, sometimes we get knocked down, but we just can't stay there. We've got to find a way to get back up. And I think that's why it's so important that we lift each other up, because if we don't have somebody to lift us up, then sometimes it's hard to get back up on our own. We've got to have that support system. And, for you and your journey, going from that, and then, now in the ministry of serving other families, I know that there's a lot of pain and sorrow in what you do, but there's also tremendous joy as well.
There is. And, for my story, my grandparents, I lost my dad at 6 months, and then my grandparents also 4 years later buried my uncle. And so they had walked the long journey of child loss. And so, and my grandfather brought compassionate friends to the Bryan College Station area. And so it's a legacy you don't want, but it's also a legacy that that the Lord can use. Mm-hmm. He's always had me serving in the trenches, whether it's the homeless ministry or the prison, or so to be in the trenches today is very comfortable for me. It's not, the Lord doesn't call all of us there, because it's a hard space, and we do have to have community. Most definitely. We have to have pastoral community that can encourage us. And like you said, Northside is just Pastor Reagan, I can go in and talk to him, and he really encourages me in ministry, and Bob Sly. I'm just grateful for the churches in the area and the pastoral care that we have, because we couldn't serve that way without it, and we couldn't serve that way without our community support.
Yeah. Well, Chrissy, I know any organization, you have events and you have things to help raise awareness and to let people know about the mission and the vision and the why. There's always a why behind an organization, and you guys have a really important event that's coming up that you'll get to do, the Night of Remembrance. Maybe lead into that and let us know a little bit about what this night entails, and if folks can get involved, those kind of things.
So this is one of my very favorite nights, even though it's beautifully hard. My son loves steak. Christopher loved a good steak dinner if I was buying. And so I remember right after, he passed, I thought, God, I just want to get some friends together and have steak in his memory. And that has since, maybe that was the birth of the Remembrance Dinner. This will be our 4th annual. It's going to be December the 12th and at Elkins Lake Clubhouse. Awesome. And that night really is about our families, parents, adult siblings, grandparents. We just want to take the time to remember those kids' names and their life and their legacy, and be able to pour into our families. So Judge Wayne Mack is going to officiate that 5-candle ceremony for us that night as our guest speaker, and it's really beautiful. I mean, it's heartbreakingly beautiful, but so we do have, we're very, very thankful. We try to provide that dinner at a very low cost for our families. David Smith and Debbie Mitchum have helped underwrite in memory of their son Hunter. We have Rhonda and Kenneth Street in memory of Morgan Klima, their nephew, and then Heritage Oaks has stepped in to help, and Vera Bank out of Conroe, and also Wiesner here in Huntsville. So we're really thankful for that, because those underwriting opportunities allow us to serve our families with very little to no cost. We have families that they tell us that this is the only thing they do during the holidays. Holidays are very, very difficult when you've lost a child, trying to figure out new traditions and new ways to function, what that looks like, and keep the family together. So we're just so thankful and really, really honored to be able to do this for our family. So, but we do need help with the underwriting, any costs that we can not have to pass on to our families, especially for this evening. It is not a fundraising event. It is a night for us to just light the candles and share the hope that we have in Christ.
Chrissy, how maybe there's somebody watching this morning that is, that has went through child loss, and they said, I need support, I need help, and maybe let folks know how you guys step in and help, and then how they could be part of a remembrance dinner or those kind of things.
Absolutely. So anybody that has lost a child, a sibling, or a grandchild, we just would welcome you to join us that evening. You can find that information on our website at firsttouchfamily.org. Our sponsorship information is also on firsttouchfamily.org. It's on that front page. There's a link to all of that information. We are getting ready. November 30th, we're going to do an online The Miracle of Advent online with our families, and we'd love to have you join us there just so that we can encourage each other through the holiday season. We think that's very important. And so if you'd like to get involved, we'd love to have you. You're welcome to also call at 936-661-9236. If you know someone who has lost a child, we send blessing boxes, and you can find that online as well. There's a form that you can fill out and send a blessing box to a family who's lost a child. And that sweet partnership, we've got, actually Bayes Chapel has supported us in that heavily and connected us with a gentleman that's doing our engraved Bibles. So there's some really sweet grief resources. It's a good way to connect back with First Touch Family, and to that we can connect you with resources specifically for what your loss is.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the website. It's really good information, Chrissy. It's firsttouchfamily.com, and if you go to events, you'll see the night of .org. Yeah, firsttouchfamily.org, and then if you roll down on events, you will see the night of remembrance. And maybe you said, I want to help out, and you can sponsor a dinner for one attendee. You can sponsor people to be here. $35 is a sponsor. You can also support in various other ways as well. And so go to the website. There's all sorts of opportunities here for you to be able to help out and be a part of this very important event. It's on December the 12th, and again, Judge Wayne Mack will be there as the speaker, and I just think this is incredible to bring people together and to remember and to celebrate the lives of those lost, but also to come together. And you need that system. We just had Adrienne Hunter here on the show. She does an evening of hope for widows who have lost their spouses, and for women who have lost their, and she wants to do a men's program as well. She was joking. She's like, we can't get the men in there though, because we don't want this to be a singles meet and greet. So it made a lot of sense. Yes. But she has that evening of hope, and she said it's really a necessary thing because it brings these widows together. That's grown to over almost 70 people now that are planning on coming this year. And I know that this event that you're doing, has grown, and we want people to be a part of it. So
yes, and this year we would like to invite our first responders out and our Justice of the Peace. I think it's important to partner with our first responders, our hospital district. They're serving in the trenches, and scenes of accidents and things like that. And we want to be a support system to them as well as they minister to families who have lost their children. So we'd love to have them. We'd love to have you. And we're just really, Judge Mack, I don't think even realized the impact that he had, because he was the Justice of the Peace on the scene when we lost Christopher. And when the Lord kind of called us into ministry, I made a phone call, and he said, of course I'll meet with you. And I was a little bit shocked because I know he's very busy. But he sat down with me, and I said, this is what the Lord has really laid on my heart. And he said, Chrissy, it's the first touch. And that's where we got our name for our ministry.
Yeah. The the event, I wanted to just so there's no confusion. Someone asked that if they haven't lost someone, can they come to this event or can they buy a ticket, or is this just for families who have lost someone?
So our focus really is on families who have lost a child. It is an evening for them. We have had others that have asked to attend the event. Some, because Judge Mack is going to be there, and he's a fabulous speaker. So I'm not going to say, no, you cannot attend the event, but it is for our families, that have lost children. It's extremely emotional. And you're welcome to come and join us and love on those families if you choose. But it is a night that is completely focused on our families who have lost children.
Yeah, I would highly recommend sponsor those families.
Yes.
Is a great way that you can be involved and help out. And I think that would be just an incredible way. And so you can go online again, firsttouchfamily.org, for more information on that. Well, Chrissy, any final things you'd like to mention? I know there's always a lot going on. You are always just a moving and a grooving. You're staying busy.
I am. No, I'm just want to. There have been so many in the community. We've got a great team behind the scenes that puts together all of our details for that night. And so, I just really would ask you guys for prayer, the community, and over our families, and over those that are going to attend, over those that are that step into those hard spaces with us, because this is not an easy ministry. And most don't want to talk about it, because if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. So we just really want to encourage you to be in prayer over our families and over those that are giving of their time and talents. And so thankful for the way the community has stepped up. You mentioned Ace Hardware earlier, and boy, they have stepped up for us over and over again, as well as have many other businesses in the community. Joetta's, they're having their pink sale, I think, tomorrow.
Cool, yeah.
I'm super excited about that. They do their, they sponsor our candles every year. She's lost her husband and she lost her son. So it's just been a beautiful thing to see in the community.
That Ace Hardware, if you need a 5 cent bolt, I'll tell you, they'll go to bat for you. That as soon as you walk in, come on, they'll take you. They'll walk you down. They'll run and get that stuff for. They're good people.
They are good people.
Well, one last thought that I wanted to end with, that I think it's so important as we enter this Thanksgiving season and the Christmas season coming up. And I mentioned this during our announcements that, there is a lot of joy around the holidays for many people, but there is a lot of pain and sorrow. And so I just want to encourage people to be mindful and just be thoughtful and be mindful that this time of the season, that some folks are not they don't get to experience that same type of joy that maybe you or your family celebrates during this season. And so just be compassionate, hug on people, love them, and just let them know that you're there for them. I think that's really what, of course, the birth of Christ is why we celebrate Christmas and those things, and it's in honor of him. But I want to encourage people to just be mindful of those families this holiday season that just need an extra hug and maybe a meal brought to their house or something like that. So,
I do want to say one thing. When y'all were talking about scattering the seeds and the Spirit of Texas radio, it made me think of the dandelion. And I would encourage you to continue to blow those dandelions out into the community and into the world, what you're doing.
It reminds me, as you drive over an overpass, the highest of bridges, and you see a small little flower growing on that bridge, and you wonder, how did that get up here and grow in that tiny little crack? But where the seed is, if there's the right soil and the right conditions, it will always find a way to grow.
That's right. That's right.
Well, awesome. Well, Chrissy, thank you for hanging out with us. It's always such a joy and a privilege, and you're a friend of this program, and we welcome you. In fact, you can just walk in anytime, and we're in the middle of the show. You just walk on in, we'll take a break, and you hop on, all right?
I really enjoy being here. I really, really do. It's a highlight of my day.
Awesome.
Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you. We're going to step aside, take a break, and again, go to firsttouchfamily.org for more information on how you can support this important ministry and also help support this night of remembrance. We'll take that break. We'll be back in a moment as we continue promoting and celebrating the good. This is Good Morning Huntsville, brought to you by First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope. More information online at fbchuntsville.org. Stay with us.
I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey friends, this is Rob Hipp, and I'm here to talk about a true expert in the real estate world. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Terry Coleman of the Coleman Realty Group.
With 33 years in the business, I've dedicated my life to making your real estate dreams come true. Specializing in residential properties, I serve Walker and Montgomery counties, from Spring to Trinity and areas all around.
They call her your next door agent, and here's why.
I'm not just here to help you find a home or lease a property. I'm here to build lifelong relationships. Whether it's residential or commercial, farm or ranch listings, there's something for everyone.
Now you might wonder, what sets Terry apart from other real estate agents? Well, it's simple. She goes above and beyond for her clients, like the time she surprised a family from California with a fully decorated Christmas tree and gifts when they returned from closing. You shouldn't have to compromise on the joys of home during life-changing moments. So, if you're ready to make your real estate dreams come true, here's what you need to do.
Visit my website at myrealtorterry.com and let's make those dreams a reality.
That's Terry Coleman, your expert in all things real estate.
I'm Terry Coleman, your next door agent, and I can't wait to help you open the door to your new life.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Billy Cawthon of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
It's that time of the week you've been waiting for. Get extra sugar in your coffee. Because it's time from Studio 1229J. Coming up in a couple of months, we'll be upstairs, but we're still downstairs. It's news you can absolutely use with Pastor Jason Bay.
All right. Thank you, Rob, for that wonderful introduction. I look forward to that every single week. Although I haven't been with you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, welcome back, man.
I know. It's been I've had so much going on in the last couple of weeks, and of course we all have, so that's no excuse. But it's good to be here today. Got a couple of stories for you. So Monday night, there was Monday Night Football, and there was the Cowboys playing the Las Vegas Raiders. It's hard for me to say that because Las Vegas doesn't have a football team until this past year or the year before.
I still want to say like Oakland
Raiders. Yeah. That's what my memory of.
Or the Ram. I want to say like I always get the Rams confused. Las Vegas, Los Angeles. Was it the Los Angeles Raiders too back in the day?
Los Angeles. Yeah. I mean, Oakland is a suburb. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I would be sad if my team was in Las Vegas, because if you watch the game, I mean, it sounded like at least a third of the crowd there was Cowboy fans. And I bet they have a lot of people that come to Las Vegas
to bet on the Cowboys losing.
No, to see a game. If your team's going to Las Vegas, it's a excuse for a vacation. You ever been to Las Vegas?
I went to a conference there, and it's a place that I was one and done. And I stayed I've been there twice because Sam Houston had their basketball tournament there, full of smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cigarette smoke. So you walk through, you get caked, and as you walk into the gym, you have to walk through, and they allow smoking in a lot of those hotels. And so we had to walk through, and I could literally take my fingers and just wipe it off. And so I developed secondhand smoking symptoms from that tournament, by the way.
Right.
The players had to have oxygen.
Yeah. I've never been there, and there's not a lot to draw me there, I guess you would say. But I would like to see that Sphere.
Oh, I want to see that, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that concerts there and stuff are amazing. So I would like to see that, but all the other stuff is kind of unnecessary. But so anyway, let me get back to my story. So I was watching Monday Night Football, and they're the Cowboys. One of the Cowboys players, unfortunately, in the bye week, committed suicide. You hear about that?
I heard about that, yeah. Right after, had a stellar game.
Yes.
Yeah, just a game, a couple days before.
So sad situation. Nealon was his last name. He played for the Cowboys. I believe he was a linebacker. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And anyway, so at the beginning of the game, this is the Cowboys' first game back, and they had kind of a time of moment of silence for him. And I was kind of had the game on in the background. I was doing some work around the house there, and I just had it going on in the background. And then I heard the national anthem being played. And, we've talked about that before here on the show, about some good performances of the national anthem and then some terrible performances of the national anthem. And this national anthem, though, I must say, it has to be right up there at the very top, and maybe the top one that I've heard. I brought in a clip of it. The audio is not as good as I would like for it to be, but I'd like for you to play that, Rob. And this is War and Treaty. Have you ever heard of them before, Rob?
No, have not, no.
Okay, so it's a husband and wife.
Yes, they were on the CMAs last night.
Oh, they were?
Yes, yeah. I never watched that, but I did last night.
So they are a country kind of semi like Americana type music, not like really traditional country music, but more singer-songwriter type. And it's a husband and wife duo, and the way that they sing this is amazing. And I counted in it. I think there's 3 key changes that they do in the song, but it's a remarkable job that they did. So let's roll that.
Honor Guard. And now to perform the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome Michael Trotter, a two-tour war veteran, and his wife, who make up the Grammy-nominated duo, The War and Treaty.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose frost rise and bright star through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And rockets rang loud, the bombs bursting in our gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Unbelievable. Like I said, it when I heard it, it just stopped me down. I just turned my attention to the screen. Honestly, I mean, just listening to it again just gives me chills. The passion, and to think about the NFL from where they've come, you know, from kneeling during the national anthem to showcasing it like that. I mean, it's just it is unbelievable. I was so moved by that performance. That they did a tremendous job. And sometimes, you know, when someone sings the national anthem, they try to oversing it or really trick it up, you know, in such a way that it loses its feeling. It's more about the artist than it is the song and what it represents. But I think they did a perfect combination of putting their own flair on it and then being representative of what the song truly is all about.
Yeah, you had mentioned, Jason, something about the audio, and I said, well, brother, that sounded excellent. And I couldn't even imagine what it would sound like with not the recording of the screen. Someone recorded that on a screen. I'm sure that it's we'll find that in the days to come, but my goodness. So, faith making a huge comeback in sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. And the afterwards, so the next day, I was touched by it. And next day, I was reading the news, and it was all over the news programs about how impactful this performance of the national anthem was. So I wanted to share that with you and with the audience today. But yeah, definitely check out the War and Treaty, husband and wife musical team.
You ever heard of them before then?
I had maybe in passing, but like I said, I'm so disconnected. Not because I want to be. I don't want to disparage anybody that loves any type of music, but I'm just not really a big music connoisseur. You know, there's a lot of other areas where I delve into, but music is just, I like music, don't get me wrong. I like all different kind of genres of music, but I'm just not one of these guys that knows a whole bunch about music. And the music that I do know, now my dad loved classic country music. In fact, he and I went, before he passed away, we went to Nashville, and we took a tour of the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Ryman Auditorium and the Grand Ole Opry. And, he was so happy, and it was so fun. It was just him and I. and we went down through the Old South, and it was a great trip. But he loved classic country music. He loved George Jones.
There you go.
That was his favorite.
Yeah, buddy.
His favorite. So I'm more just from sitting in the truck many hours working with him, throughout our life and driving back and forth. We lived in Cyprus, but we drove up here to take care of my grandpa's cattle. Many times, many hours we would spend. He'd always have that old classic country music going. So if anything I know about it, it's that. But I don't know a lot of the modern artists of any genre.
Hung a wreath upon the door.
Yeah, there you go.
That's old George.
That's the greatest country music song of all time.
That was George Jones, wasn't it? That was him.
Yeah.
He stopped loving her today.
There you go.
Come on, brother.
All
Let's
right.
sing it. Here we go. Karaoke at FBC. No, just
Definitely. We'll see how that goes over.
not good. Not good. We'll fire up that organ and get it going, brother.
Rob up there on Sunday morning singing He Stopped Loving Her Today.
We'll have someone walk in with a wreath like a door, no. Hey, you're going to be out on the 30th. You never know.
Yeah, bring it.
Jason's going to come back to an empty church the next week.
No. There'll be hundreds of more people just to see what we're going to do next.
Fox News will be out there. Don't worry.
All right, sticking on the music scene though. Last night was the CMA Awards. Did you mentioned you got a chance to watch that?
It's part of it, and I didn't know. The only one that I knew that was up there was Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah.
I did not know any other artist.
Well, I was going to ask you about this individual because the headline in the Houston Chronicle today, and I did turn it on the CMAs last night. It was kind of like in the background as well. But I did see this. The Huntsville area native Cody Johnson wins CMA Male Vocalist of the Year.
I didn't watch that part of it. Yeah.
So, do you know anything about him?
Oh yeah, I know Cody Johnson for sure, but I didn't watch it long enough to get to that point, I guess.
Yeah. So, congratulations to him and those
cool is
that know him. A Huntsville native here.
Tyler knows him.
Winning. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Tyler's producer helped him with some stuff. Yeah,
he was also up for Entertainer of the Year and Musical Event of the Year for his duet with Carrie Underwood, but. He's recovering currently with a ruptured eardrum. He had this fall. So anyway, congratulations to him. This past week in America, they stopped producing the penny. This was the November the 12th was the last day that the U.S. Mint will be producing the penny. And these special Omega pennies that will symbolize the end of a 232-year-long era, they are going to auction them off, and they could potentially sell for millions of dollars.
For many pennies.
Yes, exactly right.
Wow.
Now, I thought it was interesting that economists estimate the United States has lost around $85.3 million on the almost 3.2 billion coins manufactured in 2024 alone, because of the cost to make the penny is so much more than the penny is actually worth.
Well, that's way less than the Postal Service loses, so keep the penny alive.
Yeah, right. So, and now's a good time to check your pennies, I say, because there's a good chance that all pennies could go up in value, especially the ones that are more rarer. For instance, the 1909 Lincoln wheat penny is currently valued around $21, but the Indian head penny from 1859 can sell for as much as close to $1,000. So check your pennies and see if you have any one of these rare pennies, because the value is expected to continue to go up as they have stopped producing the pennies.
Trivia for you real quick.
All right.
Because I mentioned the USPS, okay? I'm not hating on I got friends who work for the post office. I'm just saying a fact. Trivia. How much does the USPS lose every year? Trivia.
It's got to be millions. More than tens millions. I have no idea.
$9 billion.
$9 billion.
Projected in 2025. $9 billion.
I have no idea.
So if we can keep the penny. If you're only losing $65 million, keep the penny. Fix the post office.
And to think that other companies can do it and make money.
They have to,
doing
or
it.
they won't be in business.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Like UPS, what's the other one?
FedEx,
DHL.
DHL.
And now Amazon
yeah.
has taken a lot of their products and shipped them themselves. Even
Yeah.
Walmart's doing it now. And I order so much stuff from Walmart and have it delivered. I don't know how in the world they make money doing that.
Yeah, you told me you said on the show one time you tip them pretty healthy because
I
you're
do,
like,
the individual, yeah.
I feel bad for that guy driving that far out.
It is. But you can have one delivered, like if you don't have it delivered, there's two different or three different ways you can order online. You deliver it immediately. Those are the ones that we do like the tipping on. You can pick it up in store. You can order online, pick it up in store, or you can have it delivered, and delivered is just delivered it at their expense whenever. But they still deliver that themselves, even the delivery items. Walmart will actually deliver that anyway.
You'll know who the delivery driver is for the Bay family because there's a long road out there, and it's a good old country, the old long dusty road.
Yeah.
And so if you see that car coming through Huntsville and it's got a little white dust on it, you'll know that they've
It's
been
been
to the
out
Bays.
there. It's been out there, and it was probably loaded down.
The shocks are broke on the car.
Definitely. Multiple states in America claim they have the best beef. Oklahoma clings to its cowboy swagger. Montana flexes its mountain pastures, and Nebraska insists it owns the heart of the cattle country. Wow. But the numbers don't lie, and they point south to Texas. The Lone Star State is making barbecue dreams come true and feeding America's beef obsession. This state produces the most beef in the United States, and that's Texas. So I know they're working on trying to lower the beef prices, but when we lower beef prices, just understand that affects a lot of families here in Texas, because now that the beef prices have gone up so much, a lot of these ranchers are finally actually making a little bit of money, enough to sustain themselves on.
The only thing I know about barbecue in Oklahoma is they make a good smoker called Oklahoma Joe's. My sister has one.
Yeah, I had one. I had one for a long time.
That's the only thing I know. Now, here's another trivia. This is important because I like the Golden Arch, which, by the way, the McRib is back.
Oh, yes. My dad loved that.
It's that onion and that pickle on that fake meat, that pressed meat.
That is so
A
delicious.
little sawdust in there gets the flavor going. Here's the trivia. How many hamburgers does one cow produce for McDonald's?
Oh,
and it can vary, and there's a pretty big variance, but on average,
let's see. The meat is so thin. I'd say 1,000.
it's on 2,000 to 3,000.
Oh, wow.
So think about that. If you just get you one, could you live off of one cow a year if you cut it properly and ate on it?
My family used to do that every year. And my mother and my dad, they were all from beef cattle raisers. That was their family. That's what they did. And so every year they would take one steer and butcher it, and it would last pretty much the year. Now there'd be hamburger meat. My uncle still does it for my mom, and she usually has most of the meat cut into just hamburger meat, and it usually lasts for the entire year. We do make it about a year on that. So
You only get one bowl of menudo, though, because there's only one cow tongue.
that's okay. You can have that. You can have that.
You ever been to the grocery store and you see that cow tongue and
Yeah, no
like,
kidding.
man, put that thing away.
All right, I wanted to share this article because the title of it's from Inc. magazine. It says the business plan for Raising Cane's earned its founder the worst grade in his class, but it had one genius insight that made him a billionaire. Now think about Cane's Chicken. He proposed this idea when he was in business school, and like I said, it earned him the worst grade in the class, but in the long run, he won because it is one of the top selling chicken fast food chains. And what he has done, what his business model was to keep it simple. So all he does is sell just a few things at Raising Cane's, and then he tries to make that as the best possible. He says, believe in doing one thing and do it better than anybody else. That's what Graves, the owner, told Inc. reporter Rob Walker for a feature story on the founder. The fast food chain sells chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, Texas toast, and cane sauce, and that's pretty much it. What do you think about Cane's chicken?
Well, I think they have great chicken. I like it, but they need to quit. I think the chicken has decreased in size probably 50% since I first ate there. And I'm not just making this up. Everyone has been complaining about how small those tenders are getting now. So, yes, I like it. Secondly, yes, I want chicken. Whenever you drive, hey, you want some chicken today? No, I'd like a hamburger. Of course I want chicken.
Yeah.
That's their phrase over there. And so I'm very nice, but I thought about one day, Jason, just kind of saying, I'd actually think I'd like some pizza, and just to see what they would say.
They probably heard it before. I tell you what, we go there a lot of times after church on Sundays. And the reason that I love it more than and it's not that cheap, it's there's cheaper places to get chicken, but one of the things that I like about it is that it is so simple.
And
you just go in there, you just go in there and you know what they have, and it's either order that or nothing. And so when I bring the kids in there, it's just, one of the worst things, in my opinion, when you go to some place is ordering, especially when you have a lot of kids. This one wants this. This one wants this. Well, no, I want mine with just ketchup and cheese, nothing else. And then this one wants it different. And, it's just, oh, my goodness, just – make it simple. You go there, it's totally simple. We can order in less than 5 minutes. You either want the box combo, the 3-finger combo, or something else, or the kids' meal. It's all that easy. And then, like you said, you sit down, get your drink, you sit down. By the time you sit down, it's ready. Because they know what you're going to order before you're even there, because they only have what they have.
Yeah.
So, especially when I have to be back for a meeting here at church at 2 o'clock, we'll just go there. Boom, we sit down, we eat, we're out of there, and move on with the rest of our day. In 2024, the company operated roughly 900 restaurants with 65,000 employees.
Wow.
and raked in $5.1 billion in total annual sales, which caused the owner's net worth to double to currently $17.2 billion.
Just from chicken.
Yeah,
Wow.
so he laughed all the way to the bank after taking his bad grade home with him. It just shows that not everything you learn in school is productive.
Which, by the way, Elon has now become the world's very first trillionaire.
Trillionaire.
He's got enough. They approved his stock to enough now that he's valued at $1 trillion.
Wow.
I just want $1 billion.
Waymo. Have you heard of this company?
Yes, the trucks, the automated trucks that drive around.
Yes, but not only the automated trucks, they are automated cabs that you can purchase to take you from place to place. And now they have been deployed in Austin for some time, but now they're going to deploy their driverless cars in Houston very, very soon. So in the next coming weeks, there will be driverless cars throughout Houston. So there you go.
Can we go we should go down there and try one of them.
That's what I was going to ask you. Would you try a driverless car?
I would live stream from inside the car.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy endeavor. We should try it, Rob, right here on Good Morning Huntsville on a Thursday morning. We should take a trip down to Houston.
Do the show from the car.
And show that this technology is worthwhile or not worthwhile, depending on what happens.
Or it's way more than we can handle.
Yeah. And, honestly, the idea is pretty valid, because think about it. Now, my wife, I love her to death, and she grew up in Dallas. I grew up here in Huntsville for the most part. But she's very leery of strangers and people, And so whenever I told her, we'd go fly we had to fly, me and Rodney flew to North Carolina to pick up a bus and bring it back for the church. Or from time to time I have to go different places, but I always rent a Uber, And she's like, I would never rent a Uber. I would never do that. Because why do you think she would never rent an Uber?
It's someone you don't know.
Somebody you don't know. And the taxi driver, if you hired a taxi, you kind of know that, okay, this person, at least you're led to believe that this person has been vetted by the company to make sure they're not some sort of serial killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the standards for the whatever, what's the services called? I just mentioned it.
Waymo?
No, not the one that you call and.
Oh, Uber.
Uber, or there's
Lyft.
Lyft, whatever. Those, and I'm sure they do some sort of vetting process.
Yeah, there's a lot of vetting on those.
Yeah, but anyway, you can understand how somebody wouldn't want to just call an Uber and then say, okay, I'm getting in with a stranger. And then you get in with the stranger and, you don't know what that ride's going to be like. How good a driver are they? Or what kind of music? Or what does the car smell like? All these things go into your head, right? But in this situation, you don't have to worry about the driver at all.
Yeah.
You just sit in there and just chill for whatever it takes you. Hopefully it takes you to the right place.
I got into Uber once and almost gagged because all I'm going to say is it was obvious that they had cats and they left the windows down in their car.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Needless to say, they didn't get a solid review. And I'm so unconfrontational. I hate leaving bad reviews.
Yeah.
If you go look at my Google profile, all my reviews are 5 stars.
Yeah, well, and I'm kind of like that too. I will leave a review, but if it's a review, it's going to be a positive one.
I had to leave one on that. I said, brother, you got to put the windows up at night, man, because that ammonia is about to make me have pneumonia.
Drew Brees, speaking of chicken places, Drew Brees has opened up a hamburger place, fast food chain, and he has modeled it off of the Raising Cane's model. So it's very simple. It's fast food chain, and it's small sliders. And it was recently named the runner-up on the Restaurant Business Future 50 list of fastest growing restaurants. It was founded in Baton Rouge and Louisiana, and he's now extending them into 39 locations in 11 states, and it's increasingly growing. And all it is sliders and sliders only.
Why don't they invent some restaurant? I know we have Subway, right? But why don't they just invent almost like a drive-through Subway, but it's just maybe there's only 3 types of sandwiches: ham, turkey, and chicken. Or chicken salad and tuna.
Peanut butter and jelly.
And it's just, no, literally, that's what it is. And it's on just, if you want white or wheat, yes. You want chicken, you want peanut butter and jelly, whatever. And it's just a basic sandwich.
I've thought about this a long time, Rob.
No one has, and I would eat there probably twice a week.
I've thought about this very, very thing myself, and I'm glad you bring it up because I think you're exactly right. I think there is a company that could make a lot of money that just making sandwiches for people. Not like McAllister's fancy sandwiches, just regular sandwiches.
A basic, and you want a soda with that? Sure, and a bag of chips. Boom, you're done. You're in and out. There we go. There's the next idea.
I would love to go by and just get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from time to time.
Yeah.
And I know we could make that, but just drive through somewhere, grab a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and hit the road.
Especially if you got a kid. Boom, you're done. You're in and out. That's the next idea, brother. That's it.
Take it to the bank.
All right,
there you go. News you can use.
All right, there it is. From Jason Bay, news you can absolutely use. Well, hey, I want to stay right here. We're about to sign off. I've got to prepare for a service today with the family that I have the privilege of helping today, and I'll be leaving here about 10:30, so I've got to finish preparing for that. But, Jason, I wanted to talk about briefly gratitude. We've been talking about that and had an awesome service last week, and now this week, our Thanksgiving service and an opportunity for people to come and also break bread after the service. I like that.
Yeah, I tell you what, this really is one of my favorite times of the year. I love the end of October, the beginning of November, and leading up to Thanksgiving. It really is one of those holidays that hasn't been polluted by the culture. It's all about just coming together with your family and just giving thanks. And we talked about that on Sunday, about living with an attitude of gratitude and just focusing on the things that God has provided. And sometimes we lose sight. It's so easy to focus on the negative. It's so easy to listen to the negative comments, that we hear throughout our day. But we have to purposely stop and give thanks to God and focus on the things that He has provided. And that's what Thanksgiving is really all about. This Sunday, we come together, and we stop as a church and we say thank you for the people that God has placed in our lives. We'll hear testimonies from different individuals. We'll have the Lord's Supper together, and then after the service we have a great big catered Thanksgiving meal for everybody. It's a wonderful time to fellowship with your neighbors. We invite everybody to come out. Last year I know we had close to 300 people there, and this year will be no different. It'll be a great time just to fellowship with your family and eat a good meal, and there's no charge, obviously. Just come and enjoy that. So we invite you all to come and worship with us on Sunday, 10:45 here. We're going to have it'll be a worship service where we sing, and you'll hear testimonies. That I'm not going to preach a extended sermon, just briefly touch on the Lord's Supper and what that means, and come together and fellowship as a community and as a church. So come enjoy that with us.
It's going to be fun. And speaking of Thanksgiving, one of my favorite people, Paula Armstrong, in our neighborhood, she always has inflatables out for every holiday. She has them for Easter. She has them for Halloween. She has them for Christmas. She has it for Thanksgiving. Have you ever seen these?
I haven't.
She puts them all over. Her and Johnny Mac put them all. And so when you drive through the neighborhood, it's right. And my children always look and Braylon go, that's Miss Paula's house. She loves her.
Great.
She's got one right now that's hilarious because it's all the Thanksgiving decorations, these inflatables, and then there's Santa Claus pinned down, and in her front yard there's a sign that says, wait your turn, fat boy. It is awesome. So, Paula, thank you for the humor. We need it. So that's what I always think of
great.
now.
Yeah, I love it.
I have a gratitude towards that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Well, hey, come join us. We'd love to have you. And, Jason, thanks. Fun show today, my friend. Always
brother.
a blast.
Yeah,
And
I enjoy it, too.
good to have you back. Josh held down the fort for you
It's good to be here. I appreciate Josh, too.
You bet. Well, that'll wrap it up. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and rev up your engines with our good friend, The Rev, is joining us.
All right.
He knows I was going to say that. I was joking with him. Jeff Powers from Christ the King Methodist will be hanging out with us tomorrow, as Billy will be at his son's graduation. His son James is taking a very critical test. In fact, he took it an hour ago, so pray that everything went well, and we know that it did, and then he'll be graduating from the Teeks Fire Academy tomorrow morning.
Great.
So congratulations to James Cawthon. We'll see you back at it then, as I end every show reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you. Big thank you to Chrissy Cogdell from First Touch Family, also Joshua Mashi helping to run cameras for us here today. Until then, good morning, Huntsville. God bless you. So long. Have a blessed day, everyone. And Jason, we'll see you.
All right.